Hello students, and welcome to another video lecture from Architects Academy. Today's lecture is going to be about quantity survey, in which we are going to learn about calculating indent of materials. So first let us try to see what is meant by indent of materials. So indent of material means the amount of materials which are required to produce a unit quantity of a construction item. So why is it necessary to find out indent? It is necessary to find out indent because once we know the quantity of materials which are required for one unit of construction item, we can use that data to find out the cost of the material by using rate analysis, which we'll be learning further in further videos. So now in this particular example, we are going to find out the indent for plain cement concrete, which is of a proportion of 1:2:4, and the quantity for which, or the quantities are going to be calculated for 1 cubic meter of PCC. So let us now first see what is the information or data that we require. So on the left hand side, in the left hand column, what you will see is that we have this information with us. So the first thing that you must understand is the concept which has been given here. That is the concept of dry volume and wet volume. So you know that when we are going to mix the different materials together to form concrete, they are going to be in the dry state. And when they are going to be mixed with water, that volume of the materials is going to reduce. So the wet volume is going to be less than the dry volume. The reason for that is that in the dry state, the material has lot of voids or air gaps in it. And when we add water to it, those air gaps will disappear and the volume will reduce. So that leads us to the first point here, that we require to have 1.52 cubic meters of materials for producing 1 cubic meter of concrete. So possibly now you understand why more material is required, because that is the material which is in the dry state, and that material is required to produce concrete of 1 cubic meter. Second important fact that we must understand is that when we talk about 1:2:4 concrete, we are talking about 1 part of cement by volume, 2 parts of sand by volume, and 4 parts of coarse aggregate by volume. So this is another important factor which we should consider while calculating the indent. The third important fact is that when we are calculating the amount of cement, 1 bag of cement is normally going to be equal to 50 kilograms by weight. Now to convert this into cubic meters, because the rest of the material, that is going to be sand and aggregate, is going to be calculated in cubic meters, while cement is going to be calculated in kilograms, that is, it is available in kilograms, 1 bag of cement. So to convert that, we must know the density of cement. So what you are seeing here is that the density of cement is 1440 kg per cubic meter. So how much cubic meters is contained in 1 bag of cement? That answer is given below. That in 1 bag of cement, if we divide 1440 by 50 kg, we will get the answer as 28.8 cubic meters. So 1 bag of cement is equivalent to 28.8 cubic meters of cement by volume. So once we know these facts, now we can try to find out the indent of that material. So now let us go to the column on the right hand side. So what is the first item which we are going to calculate. The first item which we are going to calculate is going to be cement. So to calculate cement, what we are going to do is, as you know that the dry weight which we are going to take is 1.52 cubic meters, which we have taken in the numerator. And we are going to divide it by the number of parts, because it is 1:2:4. This is going to be, total number of parts is going to be 7. So 1 plus 2 plus 4, so 7 parts. So what we are trying to do is that out of 1.52 cubic meters, we are trying to calculate the volume of one part out of 1.52. So we divide it by the number of parts, and out of that, as you can see here, number 2, that cement is one part out of the 7 parts. So we multiply it by 1. So that gives us an answer of 0.217 cubic meters. Similarly, when we calculate sand, we are going to follow the same procedure. That is, we are going to take the volume of the dry weight of the ingredients in the numerator 1.52 and divide it by the number of parts, that is 1 plus 2 plus 4. And we know that in 1:4 concrete there are 2 parts of sand. So we are going to multiply it by 2. So that gives us the answer as 0.434 cubic meters. Similarly, for aggregate, we know that the same procedure is to be followed. That 1.52 is divided by 1 plus 2 plus 4, which gives us the volume of one part of 7 parts. And we know that aggregate is 4 parts, because it is 1:2:4 concrete. So this is 4 parts. So working out this equation, we get the quantity of aggregate as 0.868 cubic meter. So now really speaking, we have got the answer that to produce 1 cubic meter of 1:4 concrete, we require 0.217 cubic meter of cement, 0.434 cubic meter of sand, and 0.868 cubic meter of aggregate. The only problem is that when we go to buy cement in the market, or when we order cement, we don't get it in cubic meters, but we get it in number of bags. So we have to convert this cubic meter of cement into number of bags. So for that, what we are doing is that we know that from the point number 3 here, we know that the density of cement is 1440 kg per cubic meter, and therefore 1 bag of cement is equivalent to 28.8 cubic meters. So the volume of cement, which is 217 cubic meter in this case, we are going to multiply it by this factor of 28.8 to get the number of bags. So now 0.217 into 28.8 gives us 6.25 bags of cement. So that completes our answer, and now we are going to draw the conclusion or give the answer. That is, to produce 1 cubic meter of 1:2:4 PCC, we require 6.25 bags of cement, 0.434 cubic meters of sand, and 0.868 cubic meter of coarse aggregate. So I hope this was clear to you. See you in the next lecture. Thank you.